Hello and welcome. I am Flat Cap Callum and these are bets for Thursday the 6th of October. I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alrighty, coming up today, what do we have? I've got a standard £20 day for Thursday the 6th of October. Before we do that, we'll do the review of the 5th of October, which is today or possibly yesterday, depending on when you're watching the video. But we'll review Wednesday the 5th of October. It was a good day. Really, really pleased with it because there are days that come along, as regular viewers know, where I just tell you we're having a crack because I find a lot of prices that I like and I want to go for, and it was one of them days. And it can go badly very quickly, and people just look and go, well, you took really big prices, so of course they weren't going to do anything. It can go very, very well. Today it went well. We didn't quite hit a real cracker with 4 in one bet, but we had a lot going off all over the chip shop, really. I got it as 30 on, 142.83 back. So I'd be interested to understand what other returns people got, particularly because I'm conscious I'm putting the bets on the night before. There's quite a few of the prices held, but there was a couple that went, but I think all were pretty much viable first thing in the morning, so it wasn't like they went the night before completely. So yeah, 30 on, 142.83 back, profit of 112.83. So it puts us in a very nice position now for the week and for the month. That being said, I've got a full day stake for Thursday. Friday and Saturday are very, very much likely to be big days. So it doesn't mean we're up for the week at all because there's a lot still to go. So really happy with how it went today. I'll go through it all, but what I will say, and if you've been watching a while, you know what I'm going to say. Just because it was a good day, I'm conscious people get their pecker up or whatever phrase or whatever things, their feathers are going, I don't know what's going on, but basically people get a little bit overconfident. We had a nice day on Sunday, we didn't bet Monday, we had a little dip Tuesday, and then it's a really nice day today, and people start getting confidence high and they start just chucking away the money. Now for some people, winning today was the easy bit, and for some people it was the hard bit. So for you it was the hard bit, brilliant, take your £100, have a good time. If today was the easy bit, because for you the hard bit is not to then reinvest that on silly little other things and just accept that you've actually won something, you don't need to keep reinvesting it, then arguably today was the easy bit, because your challenge now is to not just fritter away £100 if that's what you've got. I know a lot of other people got more money than that, less money depending on what you're staking. Thursday is not a day to go at it. So I'll try and explain this, and I've tried to explain this a few times before. Certain days I just look at and I'm like, this is a day to have a go, right? So on the channel, I've set it up. It's a £20 stake. I've tried to do it in a manageable way, but in terms of ratio as well. So it never goes more than £40 is what we bet, and the smallest amount we bet is £5. So it's always within the range. So it's either double the £20 or it's a quarter of the £20 or somewhere in between. Outside of the channel, in terms of what I'm actually betting myself, tomorrow we've got £20 the channel. Today we had £30, so today was 50% more. Ballpark figure in terms of how I've projected it, today I wagered my own money outside of the channel about 300% more money than I'm going to wager tomorrow, not 50%. I'm not doing that on the channel because I don't want to, people to kind of get out of control of how they're going to do it. I'm trying to do it in a manageable way. So if I increased and said, right, yet today we were going to bet 80 quid, tomorrow we're going to get 5 quid. I don't want to get into that. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is, although Thursday's a £20 day, today was a much better day to have an opportunity. I'm happy with what I've got tomorrow. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be putting out a £20 bet if I wasn't. But the £30 today had a lot more potential than the £20 tomorrow. That's not to say we can't win more tomorrow. Not to say we won't just lose it all tomorrow. But the point is, there are just certain days when I get a feel for it, looking at the prices, the structure, how we could put the bets together where I kind of know there's a lot more potential for it to go very, very well. That being said, I'm not trying to say tomorrow's bets are bad, because they're not. But today, what I'm saying is today was a particularly good day. Hopefully, that is not riddles. All right, so let's run it through. So, as predicted, there was a lot of non-runners over in Ireland. Fortunately, we only had one of them. Then we also had a later one in the UK as well. So we had this bet to start us off with. Jack's Point went and did nicely. It was second. Scarlet Dance, I was gutted. I quite like that horse. So that was a non-runner. Then Berrygar placed fifth. So only Sky, I think, paid it. So if you took the advice and you put it on with Sky, you'd have got it. If you haven't got a Sky account, unfortunately, you didn't get much return on that one. And Glen Esk with them with the other non-runner. So hopefully we had the two non-runners in one bet together. So for Sky, it was 2 places and 2 non-runners, which is what we almost did yesterday. So it was a nice return on that, really. If you didn't do it with Sky, you got a place with 2 non-runners. So the important thing, I've said it before, if you're using a Sky Bet account and you're tracking profit and loss, just by looking in your settled bets, you won't get the true reflection, because it doesn't flag you in that section of your betting account the actual refunds. You need to go into your proper account button and then look in settled bets, and it actually tells you, so for this bet there'll be an additional amount of money that you would have been refunded, and people often miss that fact. So if you are into calculating your profit and loss, which I highly recommend to do it, because otherwise you don't know where you're at, and you don't know, I'm just talking absolute rubbish, you know, who knows what maths I'm doing behind the scenes. I could be completely fooling all of you, and we actually are on a bad losing run. So yeah, do your own profit and loss, but you'll be able to just double check for refunds. So that was profitable. Then this one worked out okay, really. So Linus Larrabee, that was the one that got backed in. It was 14 to 1 on the SP in the end, 40 to 1. And it's interesting because someone made a comment on there about Rule 4 deductions. For Sky, they didn't give a Rule 4 deduction on Linus Larrabee. But I know, because I've put bets on other betting accounts, and Paddy Power, for instance, did pay a Rule 4, 10p Rule 4 on Linus Larrabee, and some of the other races in Ireland. So Sky didn't, and Paddy did. So Paddy are pretty strict on Rule 4s, I would say. Sky sometimes give you more leeway. So Linus Larrabee, yeah, I mean, I clearly, because I'm working now, I don't get to spend most of the afternoon just watching racing. I have to go and look at the results at the end of the day and watch back on stuff and watch some replays. But yeah, that was an unfortunate one, wasn't it? It probably needed about another 10 yards. It came from absolutely nowhere, and just 10 more yards it would have got up. Eleuthera was mid-pack. Scarlet Dance was non-runner. Furnace Creek, something wasn't right with that one. They haven't got it back at all, so that was last almost, I think. Insulate was 5th, which most bookies paid out for, 18 to 1. Spiritual Grey wasn't so good, but what it meant was we had two places at nice prices with a non-runner, so that basically converted to making about 150% profit on that bet on those prices. If you got a smaller price on Linus Larrabee, it would have been less, but 150% profit on bet 2 if you'd done those prices. Okay, then we had bet 3. This is, I mean, and you know, there's people out there who are dreaming about the day we hit some giant jackpot and we have Bahamas Day, and this is the kind of bet that really makes people believe it's possible sometimes. So Linus Larrabee didn't quite get there, 40 to 1. Furnace Creek was poor, as we know. Prioritised was the other one. That got collared on the line. It was the opposite of Linus Larrabee. It needed to finish 10 yards before. The price held at 33s, and Insulate was 5th. So that paid £96 to the channel, that bet. I mean, it's one of those ones, I know most people will be happy we won and it was good, and some people will be like, oh, only if you put another horse in, the difference. If you have another place horse in front of that's when you're looking at £500 return on a bet like that. If I'd put Scarlet Dancer in there as the non-runner, that would have doubled the amount of money return on that bet. So it makes massive difference. But 3 placed horses for a £6 bet paying 96 quid. If you find the right prices, which I knew there was some lurking about today, And to be fair, I was really surprised that price held. That was I'm really surprised. 33 to 1. I can't believe that held. So we also got a little bit of a single on Prioritise if you did that too for the place. But yeah, both second, and yeah, clearly that would have been delightful if both of those had won. They didn't. What you have to do is accept what you've won and be happy about that fact, because if you spent your life worrying about what you almost won, your life would be very miserable and sad. So just enjoy the fact we've won. Don't worry about how I could have done the bets or you could have done the bets different and you could have won more and whatever. Just be happy we did win. Bet 4, Elephant, not good. Spiritual but Grey, not good. Then Rock v Roman, I am hard about that. I'm glad I put it in the end because it was a solid place. I think it was 4th. And then Strawman was third or fourth, I can't remember. But basically both paid out, so it was a place double on that. For the Sky account, I did get 10p Rule 4 deduction on that and a 30p Rule 4 deduction on that. So that was a slight loss on that bet, on bet 4, but we got some return. Bet 5, Berrygar placed 5th, as we mentioned. The Thunderer was another one from nowhere, came and won. The young jockey on that, you watch that, so great young jockey to keep an eye on. 5:30, then Glen Esk non-runner, Strawman got the place, so we got a nice return on that. It was about 400-500% return on that, on those prices, even with the Rule 4 on Strawman. And then finishing off, people get excited clearly because it's happened before, the Kempton bet 6, but the Thunderer started off with a win. Mickey Mongoose ran a great race but was only 3rd. And then the last 2 were disappointing. Sometimes if horses drift, I don't mind. That one, as soon as I saw that gone out to 50 to 1, I thought that's done for. It's changed stables, clearly not interested today. So often on a drifter, I don't mind, but on that one, I thought, nah, that's done. So we got a win and a place on that one. All right, so as I said, that was a nice return for what we had. 30 on 14283 back. What have we got on Thursday the 6th? So I've got it as 3 lucky 15s. I've done them slightly differently, and I'll try and explain why. And also a flag for betting accounts. For those of you who've got online accounts with Coral, tomorrow might be a good day. Not saying like it's a mega like get stuck in, but I'm saying actually competitive with Sky Bet. So certainly for my bets. So bet 1, and for those of you who like bets in nice chronological order, I got 3 bets, 12 horses, and bet 1, it's the first 4 horses. Bet 2, the next 4, and bet 3, the next 4. They're all in order. So there's no like jumping between bets for this one. So 105 Warwick, we took it last time, burst a blood vessel, hopefully it's recovered. So we're going again with Ollie's Folly at 14 to 1. 7 runner race, never ideal, 7 runners, but I like the price. I like if it's back to its where it was with form wise, it's got frame chances. It's a nice price. 115 Air Ebony Moore 8 to 1. 225 Air Macaulay 14 to 1, which we've taken before a few times. 3 o'clock Air Pearl of Qatar 14 to 1. So the way I've done this bet, because often you'll see me, and I've done it before but not often, and normally when I put volume out I don't worry about this level of detail, because often you'll see me put out a bet and I might put one that I like, particularly the price, and I'll put a single, or you might see me put a double on. You less often see me do it this way around. So what I'm indicating here is I've got a 15p each way lucky 15 on the 4, and then an additional 25p each way Trixie on the next 3. So I want to wager less money on Ollie's Folly. So I want to put the money on the handicap horses, and that's because I rate their chances of framing quite similar, but the chances of winning I think are greater on those 3, in essence, is what I'm saying. So Ollie's Folly, I think it would do well to beat the favourite. It could well do, but I like the chances of the others in terms of open handicaps. So I'm putting a lean on the last 3 legs. So hopefully that makes sense, that I kind of, in terms of staking wise, oh, excuse me. Might go again in a minute. So in terms of staking wise, yeah, I want to put more money on the bottom 3 legs. So price wise, you know, they look similar, but yeah, I want to put more money on the handicap. Basically, is how I've done that bet. Coral and Sky Bet are the same place terms. So leg 1 is no extra places, and then those legs are all 4 places, and Coral are 4 as well. So if you're putting it on tonight, Coral or Sky Bet, whatever you want. If you're putting it on in the morning, once Coral goes live with best price guaranteed online, that will trump Sky, because you'll get best price. So if you're not watching this until the morning, then Coral, once best price guaranteed goes live, because you'll get it on those 3 legs. Hopefully that is clear. Bet 1. Bet 2 is all over in Ireland. I mean, last night, as you could see, I was tired, and you know when I'm tired because I pronounce stuff wrong, I spell stuff wrong, and I have typos all over the chip shop. It doesn't affect the quality of my selections, but it does affect my delivery and my presentation. So over in Ireland tomorrow, we've got Thurles. I don't know what the right way to say it is. It's not a course that has many fixtures, so I've kind of gone a little bit easy in the sense of in terms of races, 3 of them are paying 5 on Sky for 12 runners, and as I talked about last night, it's a really good opportunity to have a look at when Sky are 5 places down to 12 runners. These they're limited, I think, these to 14 or 15. I think it's 14 runners. They've got reserves in, so it's very, very likely. I think it's leg 2 that's only 4 places. The others are 5. It's very likely they'll hold till 5 unless something goes quite dramatic with the weather. But yeah, because the course is not one that most of them have got experience on, and I like a bit of course form. I've just gone a little bit easy and not gone anything too big on these bets. I like these selections, and clearly they're nice prices, but I didn't want to kind of do lots of other multiple combinations and things. I've just gone for one. Sky are best because on 3 out of 4 legs they're paying 5 and no one else is, but most other bookies are paying 4. So what I would say is, if you're putting on tonight, certainly it works if you're registered in the UK for Paddy Power online. They don't advertise it, but they'll give you bog the night before. So it's an important thing, is people don't realise, because they don't advertise it, but I use it all the time on my Paddy accounts. So Paddy are bog the night before on the certain tracks that they're bog on. So if you're putting it on tonight and you haven't got Sky, then use Paddy. If you're putting it on tomorrow and you haven't got Sky, probably best, I would think, but normally by that time in the morning, 365 are better. So 310 wrist start 25 to 1. The trainer owned by the family, and he's got 4 in that race. 1's a reserve, and I just think that's the one. So yeah, I think it's a really competitive race, and at the top end of the market, I think it's more than likely the ones in the top of the market are going to come out well. But I think that's the one at a price is worth a go. Wrist start 345. It's a long road, 14 to 1. 420 Hymnbook 2, 16 to 1. 445 Mountain Fox 22s, 20p each way, lucky 15. And then I've done a double on those 2. And what I'd say about these is, as I often say to you, I normally get a feel whether I think these are likely to be vulnerable to price shortening or not. I actually think, particularly legs 2 and 4, I wouldn't be surprised if they're drifters. I'm happy to take them at those prices because I think there's value in it. But I actually wouldn't be surprised if their SPs are a bit bigger. They're the type of horse where, because of the age of the horse and their recent form, they're not something that most people are going to gravitate towards. So if money comes for them tomorrow, it will be because there's people in the know putting money on. Regular punters aren't going to look at those horses' leg. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't look at leg 1 either. So yeah, so I think with this bet, if those prices shorten, that's kind of insider knowledge, thinking that they're going to have a good crack. But I wouldn't be surprised if at least 2, if not all 4, possibly could drift. All right, but yeah, that's what we've got. And then finally finishing off Chelmsford, lucky 15, and again Coral are the same terms as Sky. So legs 1 and 4 are standard terms. Legs 2 and 3 are paying 4 places on both Coral and Sky. So have a look which is better price if you've got both accounts. If you've got either, it doesn't matter. If you've only got one, it doesn't matter. If you're betting in the morning, then do it with Coral, because you'll get best price guaranteed on all 4 legs rather than just the 2 legs. If you're betting with Sky, you'll get best price guaranteed on leg 1 and leg 4 after 9 o'clock. I won't do that because the bets are already on for the channel. So we've got 6 o'clock Dulcet Spirit 20 to 1, 7 o'clock Tahassan 14 to 1, 8 o'clock Never Been to Paris 12 to 1, and 8:30 Estella Star 10 to 1. 15p each way Lucky 15, 25p each way Trixie Bottom 3. It's the same bet for the same reason as bet 1. That's not a handicap race. I think it's got a possible chance there of placing at a nice price. I think it's a very unlikely winner. I think these ones have got a much better chance of a higher likelihood of winning a race as opposed to framing. Framing wise, similar. Winning wise, they're better than that one, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've staggered it in the same way, because the thing with that is normally would do like a 20p each way Lucky 15. I could say to you there's 2 more I like and it's 25p each way, but this way I'm making a clear thing to say I want more stake on those bottom 3 legs, and it's just trying to highlight to those people who are doing their own bets, just to think about different ways of doing bets. It's not always about just putting it straightforwardly, I've got 4 selections, I like them all equally. I always try personally, when I'm doing my own bets outside the channel as well, I weight things. You've got to put more money. You don't want to go big on one horse, but having a lean is sometimes important if you've got one. All right, that was well longer than I ever expected it to be. I'm sorry. At least I'm uploading it earlier tonight. But yeah, I didn't expect the video to be so long. I've explained a lot of things, and hopefully I've not waffled on too long, and my explanations have been useful and enlightening and enhancing and whatever else it might be. The last thing I was just going to say for the video was just about today and just how pleased I was, because the other thing I was really conscious of, because I've told you guys I've started a new job this week. It is going well, thanks very much. Quite a few people have asked. Yes, it's going well. I knew there'd be some people, if it starts going badly this week, people will be like, oh, he's got a new job, he's taken his eye off the ball, he hasn't got enough time, and all this kind of thing. So I'm delighted to be able to show, just because I've got a full-time job doesn't mean I can't suddenly pick horses. I've been doing it a very, very long time. What I'm not doing is putting a lot more of my own bets on all throughout the day, which is what I might have been doing. And I'm not spending a big chunk of my day watching the racing anymore, because I can't. So in the evening, yes, like, you know, when I'm finished work, I'm busily looking at results and whatnot, and having a look at some replays of any key races. So I'm not watching as much racing, I guess, but I don't often pick my selections based on me watching a race and I don't put horses in a notebook and that kind of stuff. Like, I know some people do that. I look every time I'm picking my horses. I look at each race cleanly and go through it all. I'm aware of horses I've backed before, but I don't have loyalty to specific horses. Sometimes I just find the same horses crop up in my research and they're worth a go. So yeah, just really, really pleased to get a win. Now I've got a full-time job to demonstrate that there's not going to be a drop-off. I'll be putting out less content. It's 5 videos a week, not 7, but the quality hopefully isn't going to diminish. All right, thanks very much for all the support, and I will see you on Thursday night. Thursday night, back set Thursday night for Friday, and it does look like it's going to be a busy betting day. So I'm expecting tomorrow's to be more than a normal stake. There's quite a few handicaps across the board, and at the moment the Dundalk meeting looks quite good. So we'll see. Thanks very much. Bye bye. Good night. Sleep well. Enjoy your cocoa in tonight or coffee in the morning. Thanks. Bye bye.